We have 3 children, and 2 of them are addicts. And my son, Tim, the oldest, has been clean now for 2.5 years, and my daughter, Holly, has been clean now for 6 months. And it's a big thing. And our other daughter was, of course, caught up in the chaos in the house, which was very sad for her. But so my point is going to, I'm a sign language interpreter, so I use my hands all the time. So my point is going to be focusing on how this program saved our marriage big time, among my sanity. I mean, for the addict, it is their life, but for the parents, if you're a parent and I'm a parent, my sanity. We were, really going to get divorced. I mean, because we, good cop, bad cop. We just, they played us to the T. They played us against each other beautifully. I mean, it is amazing how addicts, what they can do to get their drugs or whatever they can do to, they will do say whatever they say. Every word out of their mouth is a lie when they're using. And for me, it just became so bad. So we ended up going to a marriage counselor, and the first thing, we told her all this stuff, and she said, you got to go to an R&I meeting or an AA or something. You have to go. This is what you need. The best thing she ever told us. So we walked through the doors, Saturday meeting with Bill, and met Bill, and my first reaction was, because we were in such denial, I much less than he. That was our big thing, is our children have a problem. No, they don't. It's a phase, because back, we were partiers. We did that, and I was like, no, we never used to snort painkillers, and this whole thing with the painkillers was crazy. So we ended up going, and my first reaction was, wow, everybody's kids and everybody are so fucked up compared to ours, because we hadn't gone through. Little did we know, it is a process. It just goes and goes and goes. Even, when they start the first time it is a choice for them. It is a choice. I mean, whether the first time, but once they do, they're hooked. And if it's in their personality and if it's in they're hooked. And there's nothing they can do, and they will do anything to get that drug. It doesn't matter about us, like, you think, how can you do this to us? How can you do this to yourself? How can you do this to the family? It doesn't matter. Everything is about getting that drug. And now this program helped me so much to be at peace with my addict. It took my daughter so long, and my son and daughter went to rehab like a month apart from each other, because it was like, Tim, my son, on his own said, I need help, I need help. And so that was great, and he went to rehab, and he's a one-time in rehab. I mean, and that is unusual. It's very unusual. And knock, knock, knock. And I asked, even Holly, I said, how many first-timers do you know? She goes, oh, there are a few first-timers, so she is really a second-timer, because for me, with her, she went to the rehab, and you could tell that she wasn't buying it. She's not, like I have my son, who you just know when they're working the program, when they're humble, when they're saying all the right things. You can tell, you know it. It's just, and she was not there. She was not there. So needless to say, we let her come home. We didn't let my son, he went to a recovery house. We let her come home, and she relapsed within whatever. But it was good. The rehab, we were strict. It was like, you cannot use drugs in my house, and if you do, you have to leave. And so one day, sure enough, it's like, I'm going to watch you pee, because she was using someone else's urine to make her, and she was coming out clean, and we were like, yay, she's clean, but she wasn't. And every sign said, you're not. So this time I was like, okay, I'm going to watch you pee. You have to. And she's like, I'm leaving. And so she left, and she was gone for 2 years, sadly. But I was able to come and live and still be happy. And people would say, like the people that cut our hair, yeah, your mom would always go, oh, I'm good, I'm good. Well, I was good. I was good because, yes, this is a good support for us. I mean, it's a wonderful support. So keep coming back and just, really working the steps and truly believing. I told Holly, that I'm off this roller coaster ride, Holly. I am done with this. It is, I can't be on this. And I said, I have turned you over to the care of God. I mean, I have to let you go. And and she started to cry. And I was like, but I love you. And when you're ready for help, when it's for that, I will do that. So she never asked us for anything. She just stayed out there. And she started dealing, and you know, we knew she was dealing drugs with the boyfriend, and we were just waiting for the rock bottom, and it happened, and I'm so glad. But that's the one thing, she tried to keep coming back to the house, like, okay, I'll go to rehab now. And I was like, oh, you'll go to rehab, and then you're going to a recovery house, you're not coming home. And that was her whole way, was to get back home. And I was not buying it. And even, like, sometimes these kids will, she told me before she got clean, she was like, oh, so-and-so just went to Florida to rehab. He said it was so awesome. It was right on the beach. And I go, well, this is not a good idea. He came back, he was talking to you two. And she goes, oh, he just went to please his parents. He had no intention. So I truly believe these, you know, oh, all these times they're in rehab, they just are doing it to please you. They might be doing it to please you, because in my situation, I knew that's exactly, she was doing it to, I can do this for 30 days with no intention ever of, once she got out of that 30 days, of staying clean. Absolutely not. So she ended up coming to the door, knock, 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 1 o'clock in the morning on December 1st with a police officer, and she got busted. They got busted, and she was looking at jail time, and that looking at jail time really helps you get clean. And it did for her. Not that it always does. I've heard speakers that have been in jail 7 years, they get out, whatever. This scared the shit out of her, which was a good thing. And we got her, like, she came home and boom, we had her in rehab. And it was just, you know, and by going through this program, I never would have been able to do that tough love stuff, because you know, if I were to let her come back home, I felt I would be enabling, because she was just doing it just to get back home, just to manipulate me, just to do what, you know, I could tell by the way she was talking, I knew how she was doing it. And now you can just tell that what she's saying, I mean, oh, she made her amends to us. It was the most wonderful thing. And it was so, when they make their amends, it's, you know, she was so, I stole literally every single thing she stole. I stole this, I stole that, I did this, and at the end it was like, and I take full responsibility for my actions, how can I make it better? You just did, right? Oh my God. And so, it is a process, and do I know one day at a time? I know that she could, I know, like, I see the relapse, it's a frightening thing, and sometimes it, you know, oh, I knew, see, that us talking together, that he, okay, I guess I didn't get on the point. But my point is that by coming here, this gives you the strength, I feel, and just for me, like, how could you have her out on the street? I prayed, I did the Serenity Prayer, I prayed every night, please, please, you know, I just prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. And that's how I got through it. That's how I was able to let my daughter go, was from working this program, because we admitted we were powerless. You are so powerless. You really are. There's really nothing you can say to them, nothing you can say. If they're in their addiction, there's really nothing you can say to them that's going to change their mind. And our youngest, she has said, you know, sometime I've tried to get her to come here, but, you know, she fucked up my life. And I said, that's on you, Hannah. She never, addicts don't intentionally do this to hurt you. They don't. They really don't. And I just want to say the big book from Al-Anon, because my kids do AA. They don't do. They're heroin. Well, my son was a painkiller, daughter heroin addict. They do AA. I don't know why, but they do. And they love the blue book, is what they love, the AA book. And I have read that book. You guys, that is a great read. If you have not read the AA, the big book, you guys call it, it is a great read to understand. Because I was very, very angry, so angry, but to understand that it sucks to be an addict, to live, and all you want is to get high. That's all you think about is, when is my next high? Like listening to some of Holly's stories, they would talk about, she is so lucky, shoplifting. That day, okay, how are we going to get our drugs? What are we going to do? Every day was the plan of how to get the drugs. That's all they care about, big time, big time. So it sucks for them, it sucks for us. The disease just sucks. But this Naranon, let me say it again, it saved my life, it saved my sanity. That's all I have to say. Thank you.